You're watching WNDU-TV. 16 Morning News starts now.
17 years to the day, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish win their second national championship.
South Bend and beyond, all celebrating this morning as the Irish are once again on top. They defeated Mississippi State and clinched the national title after another last-second shot by Enrique Ogunbowale. Good morning, everyone. I'm Tricia Sloma. It's the talk of the town this morning as the Irish win it all thanks to yet another nail-biting finish. We can't believe it. We have you covered this morning with the story on 16 Morning News. Alex Wilcox is here in studio. We have the highlights and reactions from players. Joshua Short is on the campus of Notre Dame, where celebrations will take place later today. But first, let's hand things over to Alex for a look at what it took for Notre Dame to clinch the title. Alex?
Tricia, all it took is all they had. Let's get to the highlights. Notre Dame and Mississippi State. The whole season comes down to this one game. We start with just a minute and a half left in the game and the Irish down 5. Marina Mabry drills the first 3 of the game for Notre Dame with a minute and a half left. They're now down just 2, 58-56. Same score with under a minute to play. Jackie Young banks it in and we're tied at 58 with just 45 seconds to go. Now with just 3 seconds left, this is it for the national championship. Enrique Ogunbowale at the buzzer drills an off-balanced 3, and Notre Dame is national champions. She does it again, 61-58, the final over Mississippi State. Eli Gain has more on Notre Dame's incredible victory from Columbus.
If you love great storybook endings, look no further than this year's Notre Dame women's basketball team. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish, national champions for the first time since 2001, with just 6 players playing in the national championship game. After trailing by as much as 15 points in the second half, Notre Dame rallied once again. Enrique Ogunbowale, with time winding down, once again hits the game-winning shot at the buzzer to give Notre Dame the 61-58 win over Mississippi State.
You can. I mean, 2 buzzer beaters in 2 of the biggest games of our career, of the season. It's unreal.
And that's every player's dream, to make a shot like that. You start out in your driveway when you're 8 years old making those shots, and she's made so many big shots for us all year long. And to come back from the first half that she had and have the confidence to take that shot, unbelievable.
What makes this more special is the way the team got here. Just 7 scholarship players for a majority of the year.
Yeah, we all thought we deserved this. We all, that's what we said at halftime. Nobody else deserves it. No one deserves this as much as us. So for us just to be able to come in the second half and just play hard.
I feel like everybody counted us out, and yet here we are with the trophy, the national championship trophy, with 6 players.
How fitting is it right now that it is snowing here in Columbus after Notre Dame won that game? I'll look at it this way, just a little more confetti to be added to Notre Dame's incredible season in bringing home a national title. Covering Notre Dame's national championship in Columbus, Ohio, I'm Eli Gain, News Center 16.
One for the history books for sure. Yeah. And for everything that went right for the Irish, I got to say, watching that game, I was amazed at how many shots Mississippi State missed in that final stretch.
Absolutely.
That was a big part of this game as well.
Yeah, it really was. Mississippi State looked like they were in control of this game. They had the huge second quarter, held Notre Dame to just 3 points. They were up 5 with just a minute and a half left. You figure the odds are at least pretty good that they're going to win this game, but Notre Dame makes the shots. As you said, Mississippi State, they just couldn't get them to fall. For whatever reason, fortune favored the Irish last night.
I think a lot of prayers were said in those final minutes, for sure. Final seconds, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Alex. And in just a few hours, the Notre Dame campus is going to turn into one giant party. News Center 16's Joshua Short is live to tell us all about it. Hi, Josh.
The Ducks are already partying over my shoulder here. It's getting started already early, to say the least. You talk about Michiana. they have a lot to celebrate today. It's not only this, but Dingus Day is today. So there's a lot of stuff to celebrate for a lot of folks here in Michiana. I want to show you all a couple of photos, though. Let's start with this one. Mayor Pete teasing, potentially hinting at the fact that there could be a parade in our future in celebration, of course, of our national champions, saying in response to a tweet, quote, "Makes sense to me, stay tuned." And they are evaluating options. Again, just got off the phone with the mayor's office. They are still evaluating options for that celebration. You can also see here the marquee of the historic Reese Theater in downtown Plymouth, lit, dressed up and festive. They knew what was coming. They were prepared for it down in Plymouth. And I want to show you all something quite amazing. Take a look at the followers for Arike Ogunbowale just after her game-winning shot. You suddenly see, though, just hours later, her followers jump over 3,000. So she's scoring on and off the court. Now, as we come back out here live, we're hearing that the number one is lit, specifically in Grace Hall, right here on campus, signifying there is another number one team here at Notre Dame. So, Tricia, you're talking about Notre Dame fencing. You're talking about the women's basketball team. And if this weekend, if the hockey team can pull it out, that'd be one heck of a trifecta, to say the least. They're partying here at Notre Dame as we send it back to you.
Incredible. This is something to celebrate for sure. And I'm wearing my lime green that so many Irish fans know to wear to Purcell Pavilion when they're going to support the Irish.
Well, since you're wearing your lime green, how does my tie look? Does it match?
I think it looks, close enough. I tell you, we're going to be celebrating with a lot of these colors over the next several days. Thanks so much, Josh. Well, let's get to weather now. We're going to see some sunshine. That's a nice color in the sky for this work week. Meteorologist Cindy Clausen is filling in for David Harker this morning. She brings us now the details on what we hope will be a warm-up, Cindy.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little left out. I didn't wear green, but it's a little hard on the weather wall to wear green. So I did have blue. I got, Notre Dame blue and gold. So I got it in there. Well, it is a chilly start. You saw Joshua in his warm coat out there this morning. We're down to 18 degrees in. So those clouds will be on the increase. I'll have a lot more in your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Tricia.
Thank you, Cindy. Well, President Donald Trump is declaring no more to a deal to help dreamer immigrants. He's also threatening to pull out of a free trade agreement with Mexico unless it does more to stop people from crossing into the U.S. In a tweet, the commander-in-chief said, quote, "Mexico is doing very little, if not nothing, at stopping people from flowing into Mexico through their southern border and then into the U.S. They laugh at our dumb immigration laws. They must stop the big drug and people flows, or I will stop their cash cow NAFTA need wall." He also tweeted saying no more DACA deal. The tweets come amid tense negotiations between the Trump administration and Mexico over NAFTA. Data recovered from the wreckage of the SUV carrying a family from Washington state shows the deadly crash may have been intentional. The California Highway Patrol says the vehicle carrying the family accelerated straight off a scenic California cliff. The data shows the vehicle was stopped at a flat pull-off area before it sped off the steep, rocky face. 5 members of the Hart family were found dead. 3 of the children are still missing. Authorities still don't know exactly when the wreck took place. A passing motorist discovered the vehicle on March 26th. That's 3 days after social service authorities opened an investigation, apparently prompted by a neighbor's complaint that the children were being deprived of food. Still ahead, jury selection gets underway today for Bill Cosby's retrial. Why the Me Too movement could have a major impact on this case. Plus, China's space station that was spinning out of control plummets to Earth. We'll tell you what happened on re-entry.
And it's a chilly start to the day. You'll want that coat this morning, but some warmer temperatures this afternoon. Your forecast is coming up.
You're watching WNDU-TV 16 Morning News.
Welcome back, 6:12 on this Dingus Day morning. Happening today, jury selection is set to get underway in Bill Cosby's sexual assault retrial. Experts say the growing Me Too movement could cut both ways for the comedian. It could make some potential jurors more hostile toward him and others more likely to think men are being unfairly accused. The process of picking 12 jurors begins today in suburban Philadelphia. The 80-year-old Cosby is charged with drugging and molesting a former Temple University employee at his home in 2004. Cosby's first trial last June ended in a mistrial. Happening overnight, China's space lab re-entered the Earth's atmosphere and plummeted into the middle of the South Pacific. The country's space agency says that most parts were burned up in the re-entry process. The 40-foot-long space station, or known as Heavenly Palace, is one of China's highest-profile space projects. It was launched in September of 2011 as a prototype for China's ultimate space goal of a permanent space station that is expected to launch around 2022. Cindy?
Thanks, Tricia. Yeah, I was tracking that most of the past week, and kind of glad it fell over the ocean, but it would have been a cool sight to see that breaking up in the atmosphere. It would have been really, really neat to see. But we are seeing some very cold temperatures right now. Here's downtown. We'll have more in your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Tricia?
Thank you, Cindy. Well, all morning long, we've been talking about the Notre Dame women's team winning the national championship, and reactions continue to come in. Governor Eric Holcomb tweeted out this, saying, "What a game. Notre Dame never quit, and that spirit makes them national champions. Congrats. Indiana is so proud." We have full coverage of Notre Dame's win over Mississippi State right here on 16 Morning News, and coming up at 6:30, hear from Coach Muffet McGraw and Enrique Agumbawale, who hit that game-winning shot. Well, kielbasa, cabbage, Polish sausage, yeah, it's all being cooked up at the Westside Democratic Club this morning in celebration of Dingus Day. And that's where we find News Center 16's Melissa Stevens for us live this morning. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Tricia. That's right. As I mentioned earlier, the aromas in the room are just amazing. They are cooking away in the kitchen. But first, we are joined by Mayor Pete. And you were actually rolling up your sleeves a little bit earlier in the kitchen there.
Yeah, I think the idea is that people running for office ought to make ourselves useful in the kitchen at least a little bit, because we'll definitely be back here pretty soon eating this stuff.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the eating is the most important part, right?
That's right, yeah.
So, okay, also, what is on the docket for the rest of the day?
Well, you know, today is really about getting out in the community, people enjoying each other's company. So there are tons of places to go. I'll be at the UAW Hall for breakfast. The Elks are celebrating Solidarity Day with some barbecue. And on a day like this, there's nothing wrong with two big lunches, I think. So we'll try to be here and there and a whole bunch of other places throughout the community.
Absolutely. I also have to bring up Muffet Squad last night. Talk about that.
So amazing. Really proud of them. Looking forward to welcoming them back a little bit later on today. But just what an inspiration for all of us, and makes us proud. It's just a great blessing on top of what was already a great Easter Sunday.
Absolutely. Do you have any plans for South Bend as far as celebrations in the future here?
Well, we're working on that. Yeah, we've got to make sure that we do something special. So we'll figure out, we'll give them a chance to kind of get home, get settled in. We'll be in communication with Notre Dame. But I know there's already a lot of talk about how the community can show just how proud we are of these athletes, and make sure that they get the celebration that's their due. So stay tuned for more on that front.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mayor Pete. So, Tricia, lots going on here at this Westside Democratic Club, and an also exciting morning since last night's game. So, as I send it back to you, there's plenty going on here.
So you better get started. I know you're going to be checking that out for us this morning as well. Melissa Stevens reporting live on Dingus Day 2018. Thank you. It's now 6:18, coming up an emotional night at South Bend International Airport. How a local soldier got that hero's welcome home. Plus, are you taking a trip for spring break? We have some tips to keep you and your family safe coming up after the break, and more coverage of the historic win for Notre Dame Fighting Irish women's basketball. Stay with us.